one of the strongest energies that the human has. It's either love, or it's hate, or it's the sexual energy. But why? What does sexual energy, what does love, what does hate, what do these things have to do with energy? And there is just simply that we say it's because of love, for example, on the one side, why many of us are now alive. Because our parents brought us out, because in the beginning was that love. So what did this love then also created or made possible? The sexual energy. Because of this sexual energy, what does it mean? That this sexual energy has the potential to bring out life. So with this sexual energy, life can be created. Yeah, the highest form of existence that we know, life. And now the question is, what are you doing with this potential? If you're like just shooting it out all year long, that means, yeah, that essence possible to create life, you're just like shooting it out. And why do we use sometimes these periods of the retention? Because we know about the power of this type of energy. And now instead of shooting it out, we are trying to use this energy and recreate us. Recreate our body, recreate our cells. Because we know this energy can create a complete new human being. But either you create a completely new human being, or you use part of this energy and recreate simply your own body cells. Yeah? Cells in your body that have become sick. Cells of your organs that have become sick. And this is why we call that this period of semen retention, the period of going energetically with the mind also inside of your body, this is the way how we are trying to rejuvenate ourselves. Yeah. Sometimes every year, sometimes more times per year. It's completely up to you. But the thing is just, these methods are existing, and it's very much dependent on on your determination. If you want it, it's possible. If you don't want it anyway, then it's irrelevant. But as you can maybe also imagine, it's not easy. Yeah. In the beginning, if you have never done it before, to just keep it for yourself. But after a while, it becomes, you understand. And like I said, if you don't pay attention, things start to separate more. Things start to separate more, and you are actually more losing yourself. In order to stay with yourself, it takes effort. That means to keep the things with you and don't follow the temptation. This takes your mind power. It takes effort to do these things. Yeah. And this is where all things are like merging together then. Many people nowadays maybe think also you need to live in the monastery, or maybe shave your head and be monk, or live like a monk. Well, let's say like this, it helps. It helps because all of this only means that for some period in your life, you don't care, let's say, what style you have. You're not interested to have a relationship at those moments. So at the end, it's really just about that you have some dedicated time where you say, first of all, I invest in myself. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. So, but ultimately, everything that we like try to share from the methods in this monastery, everybody should be able to use it. And this is why you see many teachers also like him. Yeah, he spent many years in the monastery with us. But meanwhile, he also is interested in other things in his life. He's a good dancer, for example. Yeah, he's practicing quite a lot of krump. Yeah. Breakdance, krump, yeah. And so there are many ways how you can use what you learn inside these temple walls for all the different type of stuff that you do outside. To live inside the monastery, this has never been and will never be something for the mainstream, yeah? Only crazy ones like me do this. There's for everyone, there's something. So that's the point. And this is why it also makes sense then to why at all I think there are methods that can be shared to the public. Some things it's not interesting for them because nobody would really have the time to practice these things. But other things, it's good and important to know. And somewhere there we need to find the balance for what to share out and what remains inside the temple walls. Where this type of oolong always reminds me, for example, it has something with like honey. I don't know why, but it reminds me somehow like honey. There's something about wax, honey, even though there's no honey inside, yeah.
Beyond like practicing and like, well, all the stuff you would typically do, what is downtime spent like, apart from chess?
So normally the daily schedule is really like this, that at around 6 in the morning, normally my disciples and the novices, they already start to stand up. Because 6 o'clock until 7 is the time where, first of all the animals in this monastery need to be taken care of. Meaning the food for the horses, the food for the dogs, the food for the cats. This is what's happening between 6 and 7. Other ones are preparing the breakfast at that time, because 7 o'clock then is breakfast. And then starting from 8 o'clock until 11, this is like the first morning session for training. Summertime, wintertime, it's a little bit different. But at the moment, we're starting normally with the meditation. So sitting meditation, very calm, warming up the body just gently. But then afterwards, it's just sitting calm and just breathing. This is how the day starts. And then comes like the physical training, like you saw it before, a little bit more active, and also depending on what is it that this student, for example, wants to develop at the moment. Yeah, so sometimes we have group training, but sometimes we also have individual training where you have to take care of yourself, where you want to proceed. And 11 until 1, so which is where we are at this moment, is normally the working time. Working time, which means emails need to be answered, then just the general work that needs to be done inside the household in terms of vacuuming the floor, cleaning the windows, washing the toilets, washing the clothes, going shopping. That takes place now in that 11 to 1 period. And 1 o'clock is lunchtime. After lunchtime, we normally have a break until 3 o'clock. And then 3 o'clock until around 5 o'clock is again a training time. Yeah. Training time, and 6 o'clock we have dinner. And then a short break, and 7 until 9 is again a next block where it's dedicated for practice. So there are actually 3 blocks of practices every day. And they can differ, because when I talk about practice, it's not just about physical practice. It can also mean it's something that you practice which is good for your mind, Sometimes you practice something which is good for the way how you are breathing. Sometimes you practice something which is then eventually good for your mood. Sometimes you practice something which is then really physically good for the way how you look. So practice for me is just that you are developing something on you, not just like physically speaking. So, and this is what the practice times are dedicated for. So that doesn't always mean that we go for running or just like doing push-ups or doing weight training or doing kicking and punching. This is one way of training.
It is coming to the end of the year and you know what that means. Mulligan Brothers Not a Journal and the Memento Mori posters are back on sale. Buy one, get one free. Use code 2026 at checkout to get 2 journals for the price of one, or you can mix and match with the Memento Mori posters. The journal was designed by myself. It's super simple. It has goals, affirmations, it has a list to get stuff done, and it breaks it down every single day. And then we have the Memento Mori poster, a poster that reminds you that you are going to die. And as morbid as that sounds, it's been one of the most motivational tools I have used in my life. I've shaded it up until the age that I am, and every single week I shade in another black square. Somewhere along there, it could have been the square that I filled in this morning, there is a square that will be my last. And that to me is one of the most powerful and motivational framing that I've ever had. So if you want the journal, if you want the poster, head over to mulliganbrothers.com with a link down below and use code 2026 up until stocks last. Once it's gone, guys, like every year we always sell out, it is gone.